take a mic. We're just live on Facebook.
We're live on Facebook. Just, millions of people out there that of course having a love and appreciation for your game, and obviously, you look at the history of this game and how much it's celebrated All-Star Weekend. We were talking earlier about the fact that very few sports can celebrate, the past, present, and really the future of their games the way we can All-Star Weekend. For you, was that a part of the experience when when the leagues merged and you had this conglomerate of great players from different phases all coming together like that?
Yeah. Some people, particularly guys who don't make the All-Star game, they look at it as a time to take a little break, take a vacation. Some people book the Bahamas.
We talked about it. Did that.
And but they really want to be there. And what started happening, probably before my career ended, was first and second year players would go, knowing that one day I want to be a part of the big dance. I want to be a part of the show. And that was probably during a time when they had the legends playing.
Sure.
And now they switched that to rookie sophomore game and made it all inclusive. And the natural progression from rookie sophomore game is to become an all-star.
Yeah.
And I think everybody should want that. I mean, when you're in your profession, you want to be one of the best, if not the best. So, Hall of Fame is a long shot. That's not promised or pledged to anyone.
Sure.
And, to set it as a goal might not be being realistic.
Yeah.
But you can set being an all-star as a goal, and or being one of the best players in the league, or being the best player that you could be.
We talked to a couple of weeks ago. We talked to George Gervin.
Yeah,
and he said that he loves coming to the All-Star game now, maybe even more than when he was a player, because he said you can come shake some hands, make a couple ducats. Was that the word he used?
He used the word ducats multiple times.
Really, he's old school.
Yeah. The ducats are floating around.
Somebody's got to get them, right?
The ducats are in play.
We're getting some questions from people who are watching right now on Facebook. One person wants to know, what do you think, I'm sure you get this a lot, of today's game versus when you used to play?
Well, I'm not going to say it's tougher.
Yeah.
Because it was plenty tough in my day, and obviously, Wilt, Russell, Oscar, all the guys, before me, as great as they were, it was a tough grind every night, and, a lot of them traveled by bus, coach, and, all of those things. So, you can't say it was tougher because the circumstances are better. But lots of times when I watch, I look at the athletes, I see they're bigger, stronger, probably more capable of doing a variety of things. You got 7-footers who go out behind the three-point line and shoot it. And you got the little guys like Isaiah Thomas who just take everybody to the hoop no matter what. They don't care who's back there. They're fearless. And so I think it's just evolved. And it's evolved in a special way that's unique to basketball.
Yeah.
Because basketball, from its infancy, is a sport that has always evolved. I mean, they were talking peach baskets at one time that you had to cut the, hole in the bottom or whatever. So we've come a long way from there, 125 years to be exact, and I think it will continue to evolve.
Do you look at the pace of today's game? And I've heard other guys say that it resembles the pace that was played in previous generations, just up and down the floor in ways that maybe in the 90s and early 2000s was not a part of the game the way it is now.
Yeah, the pace of play, it's interesting because, there's still a couple of franchises that try to hold on to old school slow down brown ball basketball, pound it in, and see if their physicality could produce wins. But, if you can't keep pace with the rabbits that are out there these days, you're going to get blown away.
Right.
Because, the three-point shot is such a potent weapon. And, nobody's able to stop anybody else one-on-one. So you got to have a strong team defensive concept just to stay close, just to stay competitive, and then you got to have a high-powered offense that can run. And I think that's what the fans want, and I think that's what the rules are catering to: an up-tempo game, more freewheeling. Of course, it's gives a lot of coaches and a lot of veteran players like me nightmares sometimes to see the left-handed cross-chest, cross-court pass that goes out of bounds,
right,
and the guy doesn't get the hook for it, because back in the day, you used to throw a pass like that. If it didn't get to your teammate, it got to the other team, you had to sit down.
right.
Yeah. We got a great question here from a reader, and I've actually never thought of this, and I want to hear your answer. Chris Bryan wants to know, since we're at All-Star Weekend, was there any doubt in your mind you might miss the free throw dunk?
Doubt in my mind. Every dunk is missable. I mean, sometimes literally, swear to God. Now, the rim moves.
Come on.
You could always be like, I thought it was right there, but it was over here. That's why I missed.
Is that what happened on this shot?
That's everybody's excuse when they miss a dunk. Right? But that was one of my patented dunks. I used to do it after doing basketball clinics for Converse for many, many years. So, I felt as though it was going in. I just didn't know how far back I was going to jump on that particular jump, because when you're running in from the other side of half court, you try and get your steps together. And sometimes you're a little inside the line, sometimes you're a little outside, sometimes you're right on the line. And that dunk I was on the line. I recognized that. But the requirement of the event was to jump from behind something that was 3 feet inside of the foul line.
Right.
So I wasn't sweating missing it, although I've missed my fair share.
What's weird is that dunk has become a staple in dunk contests everywhere. People trying to duplicate it or at least imitate it at every level.
Advance it, do something
at
different.
every level. Like when somebody wants to pull out a showstopper, they go running to the other end of the court trying to do it.
There you go.
Tells you about the staying power of
that's
that.
a nice piece for the legacy. There's a couple things that come up from time to time from my ABA career.
Sure.
And that didn't really merge into the NBA the way the 4 teams merged, and mostly it's statistical. But I'll leave it up to you guys to catch up.
Hey, you got no problems around here. We are students of this game.
Can I give you one?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yes.
Okay. Nets and Nuggets, 1976, NBA Finals.
Okay.
Actually, I led our team in every major statistical category. And I started hearing about that when LeBron did it last year, but I didn't hear anything about the history of it because it was done 40 years ago.
Right.
We're going to have to bring that up with the research.
You guys,
we got a little bone
talk
to
to the research.
Yeah. I mean, it's one thing to look it up. It's
I'm glad I got it out.
Somebody needs to.
So y'all can do the research, because it's all about research. Right?
Yeah, it is absolutely.
And what you want. What you want to share.
But
so I'm only sharing it because it actually was a question that was asked of me yesterday. How did I feel about it? And I said, I thought it was great. And he says, do you know that you did it? I said, no, I really didn't know.
Really?
And then they shared it with me, and I was like, oh, okay. So it wasn't the first time it was done.
Right.
And it's 1976 it was done.
Well, what's interesting is one of our favorite guys, Dominique Wilkins, we talk to all the time. And I tell people that I don't think young people understand this. When I hear Dominique talk about you, it's the way we talk about Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
And it's like, I know a lot of people feel like the game started when Magic and Bird came in the league. And but then you talk to Neek, you talk to Steve Smith, some of my colleagues.
Shaq.
Clyde
Shaq,
Drexler.
all of them. And it's like, they go, wait. Dial it back to a previous era.
Yeah.
I like that we get to see you around here on All-Star Weekend, just as a reminder that this game has a history, as you mentioned, a 125-year history that needs to be fully appreciated sometimes.
Yes, I appreciate you saying that and sharing it with the audience and with me, because I don't think it should be forgotten. And I know when there was the union strike and there was a lockout and so on and so forth, with all the networks, they didn't want to go back prior to 1992 or whatever, which was Dream Team year.
Sure.
but so many good things happened prior to that, in the eras prior to that, and I think it's just justice to give players their due, who laid the foundation for what we see now.
We had Alex Abrinas from the Thunder was here earlier, and he grew up in Spain, and he was talking about the spread of the NBA in Europe. And I realized he was born a year after the Dream Team.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, these kids now are like so young.
Yeah. So what do they know?
Yeah.
What's their touchdown?
What do they know about the fish that say Pittsburgh? Huh?
Don't talk to
We
us
talk
about
about
it.
it every summer. It's my favorite.
It comes
One
up,
of my
doesn't
yeah, absolutely. Look, we couldn't be happier to have you spend some time with us. We appreciate it. Always good to see you.
Absolutely.
And continue.
All right.
Thank you,
all
sir.
All right. You
success
guys do a
in
great
everything you
job.
do. Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Keep
sir.
it going.